You think conversations are about words, but they are about rhythm. You think volume decides outcomes, but timing quietly decides everything. If you want control without conflict, learn how silence moves power. Power in conversation is not aggression, it is calibration. Most people talk to be heard, few talk to be obeyed. Obedience does not come from force, it comes from perceived certainty. Certainty is sensed in breath, posture, and pace before content. You never notice this, but it controls you more than arguments. The mind follows whatever regulates tempo under pressure. Whoever controls tempo controls interpretation and memory. When tempo is fast, people accept frames without testing them. When tempo slows, people notice manipulation and resist it. So your first mission is simple: own tempo before speaking. Begin by building an inner field of non-reactivity. Do this by breathing slower than the room, never faster. Let your shoulders drop a little, keep your jaw relaxed. Set your gaze near the eyes, not on wandering details. Say nothing for one calm breath before any reply. This silence is not delay, it is authority forming. Now you can deploy the first silent move, the neutral anchor. The neutral anchor is a still base that absorbs pressure. Hold steady posture, soften the face, steady the breath. Use short lines that end with certainty, not question tones. Finish sentences downward, not upward, to signal finality and ease. Do not argue content yet, control climate first. Climate shapes meaning before logic arrives. The neutral anchor disarms escalation by removing fuel. Escalation needs mirrors, not walls. When you refuse to mirror, energy returns to the source. They feel their own intensity instead of yours. Most loud moves dissolve when they encounter stillness with structure. The second silent move is the question mirror. Instead of defending a position, you reflect the intent behind it. Use compact questions that direct attention to outcomes and specifics. What outcome do you want here? What is the smallest next step? What would success look like today? Which part matters most right now? These questions force clarity and drain performance energy. Never stack questions too quickly, respect the tempo you created. Ask one question, then let silence do the heavy lifting. Silence here is not absence, it is a stage. People rush to fill stages they believe they own. In filling the stage, they expose motives and limits. The third silent move begins before you speak again. Compress your language as pressure increases. Long speeches invite attack and invite confusion. Short lines sound like decisions and sound like leadership. Say that is clear, then pause. Say I disagree, then pause. Say let us check facts, then pause. Compression turns sound into structure others must respect. Understand why these moves work repeatedly across personalities. Human attention follows energy gradients, not arguments. Stillness with confidence reads as safety for undecided minds. Safety attracts agreement even without persuasion. Aggression reads as threat, which awakens defense. Defense blocks listening and blocks learning instantly. Your moves bypass threat and install structure. Attach each move to a physiological cue for reliability. Anchor equals slow breath and relaxed jaw. Mirror equals one question, then measured silence. Compression equals two short lines, then stillness. Cues make the method automatic under heat. Automatic methods outperform talent when pressure spikes. Use emotional acknowledgement without surrendering frame. Acknowledgement is not agreement, it is recognition of load. Say one calm sentence that names the visible emotion. I hear this feels urgent. I see accuracy matters to you. Never add a but, hold the pause instead. Then return to the question mirror or the compressed decision. Acknowledgement lowers walls while frame stays intact. Watch for common traps that break silent control. Trap 1 is nervous laughter during tension. It signals insecurity and invites dominance. Keep the mouth neutral, keep the eyes steady. Trap 2 is explaining your motive too quickly. Explanation sounds like defense and bleeds authority. State outcomes, not motives, when pressure rises. Trap 3 is matching their pace unconsciously. Matching pace returns tempo control to them immediately. Always slow down under heat, never speed up. Install internal rules that protect your moves from sabotage. Rule 1, never answer before one slow breath. Rule 2, never speak 3 sentences without a pause. Rule 3, never defend your tone, defend your structure. Rules convert ideals into reflexes when instincts try to hijack you. Notice how memory forms after controlled tempo. People rarely remember exact words under pressure. They remember who felt certain and who felt scattered. Your certainty is built from breath, posture, and pauses. Content lands only after certainty is sensed. So build certainty first, then place content carefully. Apply the neutral anchor when accusations appear suddenly. Do not rush to correct the story. Hold posture, breathe, and ask one structural question. What evidence are we using? What result do you want now? Which part should we verify first? Accusations lose heat when required to produce structure. Apply the question mirror when people fish for validation. Do not reward vague drama with attention. Reward clarity with attention and time. What exactly would resolve this? What do you need from me now? If clarity does not appear, end at the boundary. We will continue when the request is specific. Boundaries stated once are stronger than explanations repeated endlessly. Apply compression when the room grows chaotic. Two simple lines end spirals faster than complex logic. Here is what we know. Here is what we will do. Certainty quiets performance energy and invites cooperation. Train these moves during low-stakes moments until effortless. Practice while ordering food, while scheduling time, while disagreeing softly. Discipline built in small moments survives the heavy ones. Calm authority is not a mood, it is repeated technique. Remember the deeper mechanism beneath every silent move. You are teaching nervous systems how to relate to yours. Yours becomes the slow metronome others unconsciously follow. They feel safer and feel steadier around you. Safety reduces noise and increases agreement without force. Agreement gained through safety lasts longer than agreement gained through pressure. You will feel resistance as you change your conversational gravity. Some people will escalate to test your anchor. Do not mirror escalation, increase silence and increase clarity. Some will try guilt, some will try speed, some will try chaos. Guilt meets acknowledgement, speed meets questions, chaos meets compression. The pattern breaks where the fuel no longer multiplies. Tie everything to one core identity line for consistency. I reward clarity, not volume. I reward structure, not urgency. I reward responsibility, not performance. Repeat this line internally until it lives in your timing. Identity anchors behavior when emotions start bargaining. You will notice shifts in how others approach you. They will prepare before speaking and organize thoughts earlier. They will slow their tone and reduce performance energy. This is not intimidation, this is regulation. Regulated environments produce cleaner decisions and cleaner relationships. Hold one final safeguard that preserves your quiet authority. Never chase being right, chase being effective. Being right argues, being effective designs outcomes. Design begins with tempo, then questions, then compression. Do this and power moves toward you without visible effort. You never notice this, but rhythm rules every conversation you remember. The question is simple and decides your future gravity. Will you keep reacting to pace, or will you become the pace? You think conversations are random, but every interaction follows a design. You think people respond to logic, but they actually respond to rhythm and dominance. If you want power to shift toward you, you must control the invisible layers beneath words. Every conversation has 3 layers: tone, tempo, and tension. Most people speak only in the first layer, tone. They focus on sounding right instead of being right. The second layer, tempo, decides who leads the rhythm. The third layer, tension, decides who owns the emotional space. Control these, and you never need louder words. The first silent move is asterisk pacing control asterisk asterisk. People reveal their status through the speed of their speech. The dominant one always dictates rhythm. The anxious one matches it. When someone speaks quickly, slow down. When someone speaks slowly, pause before replying. You never need to interrupt, you only need to retime. Timing bends perception faster than logic. Pacing control works because the brain syncs to confidence, not content. Calm tempo signals certainty and signals that time is yours. Certainty makes people mirror your rhythm without realizing it. Once mirrored, they follow your thought structure naturally. The conversation becomes an orbit, and you are the center. The second silent move is asterisk asterisk strategic framing asterisk. Framing means deciding what reality means before anyone else defines it. People respond to context before they respond to content. Say, let's define what success looks like first. Say, before we continue, let's separate facts from opinions. These sentences place your frame above theirs without confrontation. When you define the filter, everything they say flows through your logic. Strategic framing works because people crave orientation under tension. Whoever provides it first becomes the stabilizer. Stabilizers are followed by instinct, not persuasion. Once you stabilize, people mistake your calm for authority. And authority is never argued with, it is obeyed silently. The third silent move is asterisk asterisk psychological echoing asterisk. You reflect their emotion, not their tone. If they speak with frustration, respond with measured calmness. If they speak with excitement, match the pace but not the energy. You are showing recognition, not submission. Recognition disarms defense faster than explanation. When people feel seen, they stop fighting to be heard. Use micro-mirroring subtly, repeat one key word they emphasize. If they say trust, you say, so building trust is important here. It sounds like agreement, but it's redirection. You now control what trust means without opposition. This silent mirror rewrites meaning without argument. The fourth silent move is asterisk controlled interruption asterisk. Interruption is not aggression when done through structure. You interrupt not to dominate, but to reset. Say, hold that thought, or let's pause there for a second. These phrases feel respectful but immediately reclaim authority. Used calmly, they break emotional spirals before they trap you. Controlled interruption also tests reaction. If they grow defensive, you have located their ego anchor. If they relax, you have earned microdominance, the right to pace. Every calm interruption reestablishes who moderates energy, and energy moderation is invisible power. The fifth silent move is asterisk narrative compression asterisk. When conversations grow chaotic, shrink them. Say, so what we're really deciding is option 1 or 2. This cuts noise and forces focus. Compression shifts mental energy from emotion to structure. Once structure dominates, emotion submits naturally. Notice how all 5 moves operate through calm containment. They don't fight chaos, they absorb it. They don't attack resistance, they redirect it. They make you the gravity others orbit around. But calm control invites a test, silence that feels uncomfortable. Most people fill silence because they fear losing attention. You, however, hold it. Because silence is not absence of sound, it is presence of power. And as you master these 5 silent moves, one truth becomes clear. You never needed to win conversations by force, only by design. But there is still a deeper level. What happens when someone uses these same silent moves on you? You think silence only hides power, but it can also expose it. You think control means staying calm, but calm without awareness becomes blindness. If you want to hold the upper hand forever, you must learn to detect when power starts shifting back. The greatest mistake of calm minds is believing stillness equals dominance. Stillness is only dominance when paired with perception. When you lose perception, silence becomes stagnation. You never notice this, but stillness can be used against you just as effectively as you use it. The first sign of a power reversal is asterisk mirrored pacing asterisk. When the other person starts matching your pauses and tempo, they are learning your rhythm. This means they are no longer reacting, they are studying. The student is quietly turning into the strategist. To regain control, shift rhythm suddenly but subtly. Shorten one sentence, raise pace briefly, then slow again. This creates micro-confusion and breaks their mirror loop. Whoever sets the rhythm again owns the floor. The second sign is asterisk emotional provocation disguised as logic asterisk. Skilled communicators use calmness like bait. They will say, I understand your point, but insert one word that questions your intelligence. They aim to awaken ego beneath your stillness. You must detect the tremor before it becomes reaction. Instead of defending your logic, question theirs gently. Ask, that's interesting, what makes you certain of that? Questions reverse attention faster than explanations ever can. Each time you redirect curiosity, they lose emotional leverage. The third sign is asterisk false agreement. This tactic sounds peaceful but erodes your influence silently. They will start agreeing with everything you say, too quickly, too easily. Agreement that arrives too fast is compliance designed to reset control. It gives you the illusion of dominance while positioning them for the next move. To test this, introduce a small contradiction. If they agree again, you've exposed the tactic. If they pause, they were genuine. If they deflect, you just found their pivot point. The fourth sign is asterisk attention, inversion asterisk. It happens when someone starts asking questions that make you explain yourself. Once you start explaining, you begin justifying. And once you justify, you surrender subtle authority. Never explain beyond what was asked. Compress every answer to one calm line. Then redirect with a neutral counter question. How do you see it? This keeps rhythm balanced and keeps curiosity flowing toward them, not you. The fifth sign is tension, reversal asterisk. You will feel it, not hear it. The energy in the room changes, their tone steadies, yours begins to adapt. This means their emotional field is pulling stronger than yours. To reset, focus on your body before your words. Drop your shoulders, inhale through the nose, exhale slowly through the mouth. Pause before speaking, not after. The pause before speech reclaims dominance faster than volume ever could. Understand the deeper principle behind these reversals. Conversation is not a contest of words, it is a contest of regulation. The calmest nervous system wins, but only if it leads, not mirrors. Your calm must create direction, not just absorb impact. Too much absorption becomes surrender disguised as wisdom. The invisible discipline is active neutrality neutrality that observes, questions, and reframes. You don't stay silent to avoid chaos, you stay silent to edit it. You use silence like a sculptor uses space to shape attention precisely. Each pause becomes a command disguised as patience. And this brings you to the highest layer of conversational control, where you no longer focus on the person, but on the energy itself. You sense when words begin to lose weight. You sense when emotion rises under the surface. You adjust breath, tone, and timing to shift the current back to your frame. It looks like intuition, but it is trained observation repeated until instinct. Soon you realize the real conversation is not happening in words. It is happening in pacing, tone, and reaction speed. Most people speak to respond. Masters speak to reset. The difference is not volume, it is vibration. So the question is no longer how to speak, it is how long can you stay silent before the world moves to your rhythm again. You think conversations end when words stop, but power continues long after silence. You think control means winning each exchange, but true control means shaping what remains after. If you want to master every dialogue, you must learn how to make silence speak for you. Every conversation leaves an emotional residue. That residue determines memory, and memory decides power. Most people believe victory comes during the talk. Masters know it comes in what others think afterward. You never notice this, but power does not live in speech, it lives in recall. The first principle of post-conversation dominance is emotional afterglow. When the exchange ends, people re-experience the emotional tone you left, not your logic. If you left clarity, they remember confidence. If you left tension, they remember discomfort. If you left mystery, they remember authority. So you must end every talk in emotional neutrality or calm certainty. Your tone in the final sentence decides how they feel about the entire exchange. End low and steady, not fast or forced. Final tone is silent hypnosis. It echoes longer than words. The second principle is intent closure. Before leaving, summarize direction without seeking agreement. Say one simple line that defines reality. For example, we'll move based on clarity, not pressure. Never ask, is that okay? Because questions reopen the frame. Statements close loops, questions keep them alive. Closure signals authority and frees you from post-interaction drain. The third principle is controlled disappearance. Disappear briefly after important moments. This space creates psychological gravity. People project meaning onto absence. They analyze your silence and start valuing your response. Availability reduces power, scarcity amplifies it. Leave them with silence that feels intentional, not neglectful. When your presence feels deliberate, attention multiplies even when you're gone. The fourth principle is echo planting. Seed a single idea that grows after you leave. Say something simple but layered. For example, certainty is expensive for those who chase approval. You walk away, but the mind replays the phrase searching for meaning. The more they interpret it, the more ownership they feel. Influence that feels self-discovered becomes permanent. This is how quiet voices rule loud rooms without staying inside them. The fifth and final principle is emotional resetting. Once the conversation ends, reset your internal state instantly. Never carry residual energy into the next exchange. Breathe once, exhale slowly, name the emotion you feel, then release it. Detachment after dominance prevents emotional fatigue. Control is not sustainable without recovery. You cannot hold gravity if you are weighed down by echoes. As these 5 principles merge, something subtle happens. People start anticipating your tone before you arrive. They adjust their volume, their pace, their posture subconsciously. Your calm becomes the new default in every room you enter. You no longer win arguments, you design atmospheres. Every word becomes optional, every silence becomes signal. This is the silent evolution of communication, from language to gravity. When you master silence, time itself begins serving your intent. Your words move slower but land deeper. Your pauses hold meaning without effort. You stop trying to convince because energy already agrees with you. You realize power was never in what you said, it was always in what you didn't. Silence is not absence, it is architecture. It builds respect, curiosity, and memory all at once. And now the manual closes with one quiet truth. When you can shift power without speaking, you are no longer in the conversation, you are the conversation itself.